Hi, family. Dr. Hooten here, and we are off to a great start in January 2025 with our series on transforming your life. If you have not watched video number one, I would encourage you to go back and do that one. Do what the instructions are. Follow exactly what I said. I did that this morning. I did my routine, went through my affirmations as if I've already reached my goal. I read the Bible, prayed, took my quiet time, the whole thing to settle down my cortisol. Go back and rewatch that if you need to. If you know somebody needing to manage their stress, we already got a good question about that. I need help with stress management and sleep. The answers are mostly in that first video. Now, right now, I'm going to talk about two things real quick. Number one is an obvious one, food. And number two is the biggest secret to making all this work. Number one, food. Basically, the enemy is carbohydrates. Bread, pasta, rice, anything with wheat, flour, even white potatoes, and if you're trying to lose weight, even regular sweet potatoes. Anything that's a carbohydrate needs to be eliminated from what you're eating. The reason being is that it will spike your blood sugar, and when you do that, that in a short story here, if you keep your blood sugar going up and down like that, you won't burn fat. You've got to get that sugar down to a state, or your blood sugar down to a state where you get into ketosis. So eliminate carbohydrates. If you don't do that, it's going to be very difficult to lose the extra weight or to improve your mood, to improve your sleep. Eliminate all that carbohydrates. Now, what do you eat? Well, I am currently a carnivore, meaning I'm only eating meat and eggs. I don't even eat vegetables right now. If you are going to eat vegetables, make sure they're organic and they're not the starchy vegetables, or like potatoes aren't really a vegetable. I would avoid carrots because those tend to trigger blood sugar issues. Fruits are out if you're trying to lose weight because of the blood sugar effect. And then meat, you can eat all kinds of meat as long as it's clean, organic, grass-fed beef, like raw butter, raw milk cheese. Don't overdo the cheese. A little bit's okay. Lots of eggs, as long as they're from cage-free or wild raised chickens who only feed their natural food source. So cage-free, what are they? Pasture raised, all that good stuff. Go as clean as you possibly can, but then you can have as much meat as you want. Now, there's an exception to the fruit and vegetable rule. You could throw avocados in there. That's not going to raise your blood sugar and that healthy fat. And I would encourage you to eat a little more than you think, so you don't have to starve yourself. When I started this carnivore thing, I was eating a few more eggs than I normally would, and that really satiated me. In that first 4 days of the carnivore diet, I lost 6 pounds. So there you are with the food. Go back and rewatch that. Basically, eliminate all the carbohydrates, anything that turns into sugar, including fruit, bananas, all that stuff's got to go. And then as much clean meat as you want. If you're going to do veggies, make sure they're organic and not the high sugar content veggies like carrots. The missing link for most people, the number one most important thing, in fact, I would argue it's more important than food, is your spinal health. If your brain and spine aren't flowing, if they're not fluid, it's going to be very hard for your body to be burning like it's supposed to be. Like your metabolism won't be as good. You won't recover from the day as well. You won't handle the stress of the day as well. You got to get your spine flowing all the way down to how your heart functions. Your heart, your liver, your lungs all have to have input from your spine. So if your spine is blocked, or what we call subluxated, it's not flowing very well, it's going to be harder on your body to do anything. This is the secret sauce, like to everything. Get your spine adjusted properly, regularly, meaning at least weekly. If you start going 2 weeks without an adjustment, what happens is your spine starts locking down, if you will, just because of gravity and because of the way that we sit, and that will slow your body down. The analogy I like to use is a garden hose to the garden. So your spine is carrying the information from your brain or the water to your garden. And if your spine's not flowing, it's like kinking the hose, and therefore your garden's not getting the water. What happens to the garden that way? It starts to diminish. It'll wither, and your body will react the same way. You may not feel the problem. You may not feel an issue in your spine, in your neck, or your upper back, or your lower back, but that doesn't mean anything. Pain is a small portion of what your spine transmits to your brain. You want full flow. And I learned this back when I was 13 years old. I started getting adjusted all the time. We went to every day at the beginning because I was a really sick kid. But my body got stronger and stronger. This disease I had, I wasn't supposed to live to 40 years old. Here I'm 53, still kicking, doing all these great things with you people. Take care of your spine. And now at home, do those wobble exercises a little more. Part of my routine this year is I'm going to do that Denny roll for my neck. I'm doing that more often. So I've got that in a little sauna that I lay in, and that's my routine for my spine every day. So get adjusted at least weekly, and then do your home care. That will help your spine flow, eliminate all the junky carbs. I think most of you knew that. But I think there's this unknown about the carnivore diet and just meat. I'm a living example of this right now. When I started doing that, like I said, in that first 4 or 5 days, I went from 220 down to 214. So reach out if you have any questions. Obviously, we're answering them as we go along. And remember, drugs are bad, God is great, and so are you.